I'm just leaving Brussels. I just boarded United Airlines heading to the US because I got some good sleep when I left Africa to go to Brussels, so I'm wide awake. I'm gonna drink some drinks, eat some food, have some dessert, and watch movie as I count the hours to get back to my state in the USA. So I'm finally back in the US. I've been wanting to show you guys the stuff that I brought from Liberia when I took my trip in August. But I have been so tired. Finally, I'm getting all my videos together and I started to edit. So when I left I left on a Friday and we left around 9 something at night, maybe about 9:30, almost 10 o'clock. So we took a flight all the way to Brussels and I slept most of the time, so I didn't even record. And we were there for about 4 hours and then we took United to come back to the States. But then I had gotten a lot of rest and so I was able to record my flight coming back to the States. So before I show you all the things that I bought, let me have a conversation with you all. When I went to Liberia, I took 2 phones. My phone that I use here and the company that I use, I just told them I was gonna be there. I think they charged me like $12 a day for, I think, 10 days. And then the rest of the time I was there was free. So I took another phone that I was going to put a SIM card to be able to use it for local numbers. So one guy that works in the neighborhood, he took me to the telephone company to get it. So they need an ID before you can get a SIM card. Because usually when I go, I don't use the local number, but this time I wanted to have a local number. So he took me. And when I got there, I gave them my American passport for them to use for my registration. As soon as I gave them the American passport, they had about, they had about 6 people outside and you could also get in the store. But I just sat outside because they had their uniform. It was from one of the telephone companies, it's called Orange. So I went and sat there. And the first thing they said, oh, besides for the minutes, they have to charge me for the SIM card. And so the boy said, no, they don't charge for the SIM card. And they started arguing with him. No, they do, because of her passport, because of the ID. He said, no, the SIM card should be free. So they were going back and forth. And I just told him, I said, forget it, I'll pay them. And he was like, no, you can't pay them. So he went and he was so smart. He called the Orange number in town to find out because I'm using an American ID, if I should pay extra for my SIM card. And they said, no, it was free. So after he made that call, I didn't even know he was making a call. He came back to them and started arguing. So they were like, oh, if you don't want to get your card, then you can go with your money. I was like, I just needed to get my SIM card to be able to use that phone. So I said, no, it's okay. I told him leave it. He said, no, I'm not going to leave it. They're cheating. So he's going back and forth. He still didn't leave it. I'm sitting there, they register and they're arguing. He walks off, he goes to the store. He goes in the store and he tells the woman they're outside charging me for the SIM card when the SIM card should be free. So just before, I had already given them the money, just before they could give me the information to put in my car, the lady walks outside and she said, what did I tell you guys about cheating people? And then one of the girls who were the mean one arguing, she was like, oh, I tried to tell them, they wouldn't listen. She said, you pack up and get out of here. I would say, can they please do my phone first? Because I've already given the money. She said, no, they're going to get you back the money. They should not be charging you anything extra. The SIM card is free. So you guys pack up and get out of here. It must have been about 6 of them. I think 4 girls and 2 guys. Can you imagine? Just something simple like that instead of just following the rules. So then I went inside to her to finish up the transaction. She told me they try to do it all the time. I don't know how true it is because when we left, the boy said to me that a lot of them, they come, they gave them the uniform, they're working to be able, but they don't get paid to be able to finally get a job. So they work for free. I don't know if it's true. But if you guys go to Liberia and you get an orange card and anybody tell you you should pay for SIM card, I'm telling you, because you're using a foreign passport, it is free. That's number one. Let me tell you the next thing. So the next thing I'm going to tell you guys, we need to really do better. Our leaders that have traveled all over the world, a lot of them been to the Western country. Why there's no noise ordinance? Where I lived on the LRA highway, I'm telling you, it was only one night that I got a good night's sleep. Under the apartment where I stayed, they have this lady that sells, they got a lot of shops there, but she was the only one. She sells liquor, and sometimes like 3 times a week, because I stayed for 3 weeks, 3 times a week, people would stop by and she'd be playing music and they'd be drinking till about 12 o'clock in the night. They don't even care that people have to sleep. Then across the street, that one was an entertainment center. They start playing music at 7 o'clock and they don't cut that music off till about 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. You can hear, can you imagine we're across the street? You can hear it in the bedroom, just blasting all kinds of music. How is that okay for people to be able to sleep? You cannot just, I mean, those kind of entertainment centers should be maybe further inwards, not by homes that people sleeping, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to sit there and just listen to that noise. Somebody had told me one time where she stayed, that was the problem that she had. But when I went to Abidjan, can you imagine how detrimental it can be to your health? When I went to Abidjan, I saw this, I went to this store and I saw this dress. And so the dress was so expensive. It was just ridiculous. So I said, you know what? My god sister knows how to paint. It was a dress that they had painted a head on it. So I said, my god sister knows how to paint. When I come back to the States, I would just ask her to paint it for me. So she told me that since I was going to Liberia, she recommended me to a guy. I should just go there and he would do it. And that's the guy that taught her how to paint. So when I got home, I got in touch with him. And by the way, I will do a plug for him. When I do wear the dress, if you guys want to go home and let him to paint pictures or to paint on your dress or whatever, when I wear that dress, I will show you, I will give you his number, I will give you all his information so I can promote him on my page. But anyway, so we were going back and forth. I met him a couple of times in town, and so I was leaving that Friday, so I tried to get my dress, and because it was rainy season, when he painted it, he had to have some days of sun to be able to dry it outside. So anyway, Sunday, I called him to see if everything was okay so I could pick it up. And then I thought he was in church because when I called, it was, you could hear people singing, you could hear drums beating. So I said, oh, I'm so sorry, I hung up. And then he called me right back. And I was like, oh, no, I didn't want for you to call me because you're in church. He was like, I'm not in church. He said, the church is in my neighborhood. He said, they make noise all the time. They're doing tirade, they're just singing, screaming, making all kinds of noise in the neighborhood. He said that's what we have to go through. He said it is so ridiculous. You cannot do anything. You have to get up in the morning to work, and when they're there, you get no rest. He said when they leave Sunday from there, after they've made all that noise, then they can come in the neighborhood making noise, walking all around. Why should that be allowed? He said because of that noise, because it's his house. He can't move. He has developed pressure. Can you imagine? For not being able to rest? It is ridiculous. So I got 2 other things to tell you, and then you can see all the stuff that I brought. So when I go home, I go to a lot of places. What I've been noticing, because we do so much sand mining, which is ridiculous. So we're surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean. Now let this make sense. We have sand that's in front of the Atlantic Ocean to protect us. There's a reason I go and put the sand. People go and take the sand from the beach to build mansions that they got home. How do we do this? I don't understand. I went to some of the houses that I grew up in the neighborhood. You can see the water has come and washed some of the homes away. If they continue to do that with no checks and balances, can you imagine what would happen? One morning you get a God forbid and the ocean come into town, but then it would be too late. How can there be sand mining? I see it in the newspaper. People talk about it. People talking on Facebook. People talk on YouTube. And nobody whom with authority is doing anything about it. Sand mining is horrible. And I'm sure because they're the ones building the homes, so that's why they don't want to say anything about it. That is a problem. So let me give you some information also about Brussels Airlines, and then I will show you my things that I brought. When I go home, I always, because when I shop, I just take too much stuff with me. I'm like, things Etta. I tell people that should have been my name. I just have things. So because I always think, oh, I'm going to wear this. I'm going to wear this shoe, wear this bag, wear this clothes. And I don't want to go there and buy. So I just take things. So I always take my scale. I buy my scale. And then I weigh my things before I go, and I take my scale home. So anything I put, I know is under the pounds that I need. And then I get to the airport, it's easy to just leave. Well, this time I bought a new scale. I used it. I went to Liberia. I took it. And then when I was ready to pack to come, after I weighed mine. So I had 2 suitcases and an overnight bag. So when I weighed the first suitcase, it was okay. I used the scale. When I went to weigh the second suitcase, the scale just stopped working, the hand scale. So it was like, I knew it was more than 20 pounds. It was saying 20 pounds, then somehow we said 17 pounds. So I decided, oh, I would have to get up in the morning. Friday, since I was leaving Friday, I would get up Friday morning, and then I would go to town, to Brussels Airway, and I would weigh my suitcases. And then I would just leave it with them, and they can take it on the bus. And all I have to do is just take my handbag and my little overnight bag and go to the airport, because that's what I always do. But I went to the market. For people who come from Liberia, I went to Rallytown Market because I wanted to buy some stuff to bring. And when I left Rallytown, I don't know what I was thinking, because I know the bags have to go early, but I figure if I get there around 2 o'clock, I'll be okay. But I got to Brussels Airway. It's under Boulevard Palace, the Hotel Boulevard Palace. I got there at 2 o'clock. And when I got there at 2, the van was there. They were closed. The van was there with all the suitcases. He was writing up some papers, and he was about to go to the airport. So I'm telling you guys, if you ever want to go to Brussels Airway to check your things, make sure get there at least by 11, because by 1 o'clock it is closed. So I had to leave now. Other things I wanted to do, I couldn't do it. I just went straight to the airport and got there. I had to give people money. They were taking things from one suitcase, put it in the other, and finally everything was settled. I was able to bring all my things back. So now let me show you what I brought. So people have not been to Liberia. We call this Temple of Heaven. is for aches and pains. And so every time I go home, I buy some. So I bought a pack of 4, and my friend took 2 packs, and I got 2 packs. So all during the winter months, I will be using this, rubbing it on my bones and my body to get it right. The next thing I brought was blending seasoning. So I got 2 packs. This one is, I think this one is the beef. So there's one, yeah, this is the beef. And this one is the shrimp. When I went home the last time, I wanted to bring some and I forgot. And each one has 42 packages. So since I cook a lot, this should last me like a year and it will all be done. I'm so happy. They say you can just make broth with it, but I'm not making no broth. When I make my food, I'm gonna dump it in there and cook it. So let me show you the next thing I brought. I brought some donut grease. What people say, shea butter. Yeah. So this is it. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you one day. I'm gonna take it, and because it has that strong scent, I don't like it. So I'm gonna whip it up with some different kind of body lotion, and I'll show you how I do it one of these days in my kitchen. So this is a lot. So I might do half, and when I'm done with that, I do another one. Because when you buy the lotions here and they tell you that it has the shea butter in there, you don't even know percentage. Maybe it's like 1%, but this one I can manage it to know how much is in my lotion that I'm going to put on my body, and it is good. It's natural for the skin. Okay, I got this bag here, and in it, it has bunny. So they have 2 kinds of bunny. They have the Fanti bunny, which is this one. It travels well because it's so dry. So you see, I travel with it. Only the tail came off, but because I had a bag messing around with it, that's why the tail normally will stay. So they got that one, the one that they take out of the cold storage that is not as dry as this one. So if you're traveling, this is a good one to travel with. The Ghana, the Fanti Boni. When you go to the market, you can say you want a Fanti Boni if you're traveling. So I have a whole bag of that, like I said, because I cook a lot. Okay, in this bag, let me see if I can show it to you without it spilling on the floor. Let me see. So this is what it looks like. And this is country pepper. So all you do is like parch it, and you can either do it in your blender and put it in a container, or you can parch it and put it in your mortar and beat it. So I brought a bag of the country pepper. And then I also brought some country spice. I've never seen it here. I shop a lot. I go to all the African stores. I've never seen it. If it's here, drop it in the comment section if you've seen it. And this is the country spice. So I'll do the same thing. I just parch it and then use it to cook. And it smells so good. And I got all of these in Rallytown Market. So that is what I brought from Liberia. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification button so each time I upload, you will be notified. Bye-bye.